Now, I wouldn't expect you to know this, but Call of Duty Warzone is actually doing a bunch of secret testing right now for their new Call of Duty Warzone 2 and for a ranked variant of Warzone, which is really interesting to see. Now, the Season 2 update introduced a bunch of changes to both Vanguard Royale and regular Battle Royale that to the naked eye just looks like a bunch of silly changes and a couple of silly additions like bombers, but in reality reflect a lot of what is going to happen in Warzone 2 and a lot of testing for Warzone Ranked. In this video today, I'm going to go over these secret tests they're doing, what they are, why they're doing them, and what is the goal at the end of this year. Game developers at Warzone have access to information about pretty much every change they make in Warzone. If they make changes to Vanguard Royale, they can see how many people stop playing that mode. If they make changes to regular Royale, they can see how many people stop playing that mode. And they can introduce things like Iron Trials to see if new playlists with different ideas can radically change the experience and see if it becomes popular. They've recently described Iron Trials as a fan favorite mode, implying that it was a fairly popular mode when it was released. So what Call of Duty are doing right now is effectively diverging Call of Duty Warzone in terms of regular Battle Royale and Warzone in terms of Vanguard Royale, to try and make one of them extremely basic and use the other one as a testing ground for both competitive changes and stupid crazy wacky changes like what if we add a bomber that can destroy loadout drops and buy stations. So let's talk about the competitive changes being made specifically to Vanguard Royale. Now, if you don't watch many competitive games or you haven't watched the World Series of Warzone, I'll try and explain some stuff as we go along. But fundamentally, at the moment, the general competitive setup is that Vanguard Royale is played, all vehicles are pretty much banned except for light cars, every single Modern Warfare and Cold War weapon is banned, and Vanguard snipers traditionally are banned as well. Now, this can vary from tournament provider to tournament provider, but that's pretty much how it works. Now, there are some pretty serious competitive changes here. For starters, the loadout drop now comes in very, very early, which now eats up a lot of the time where previously competitive players had to run around with ground loot. They've also made it so that stun grenades have been banned in a competitive Vanguard Royale, and that thermite grenades have been added. This is a really great move because stun grenades are banned in most tournaments anyway, and they've been forcefully removed from the game mode now. And thermites are actually really cool and an interesting idea because they act as area denial and create some really good tactical moments. They've also removed stun grenades from ground loot, they've also removed dead silence as well, which is something that's banned in competitive modes, and UAVs are no longer something that you can purchase from the buy station, as something that you now find from picking up things off the ground and different loot crates, as well as contract rewards as well. So UAVs are no longer something that competitive players can farm or use. It's a very different rule set from what we've seen before, but all of it leads to very positive changes. They don't want lots of squads just running into each other constantly very early on, a boring mid game and then a boring late game. They seem to want these squads to survive longer in competitive formats, meaning that locational advantages like UAVs have been reduced. Even some of the new things that have been added to the game very much cater towards competitive environments. The redeploy balloon allows people to tactically reposition themselves around the map, and is a great addition to the public game, but also an even better addition to competitive environments. The portable decontamination station as well allows people to utilize the gas in new and exciting tactical ways, and the Nebula V rounds are pretty interesting as well, as they prevent people from self-reviving, or they prevent some people from reviving teammates. So lots of more variants of tactical items added to the game that we're seeing in Vanguard Royale, and this is very much a competitive appeal. This is basically modifying and creating a rule set for what would eventually be the foundation of a Warzone Ranked mode. And removing stuff like stuns and dead silence from public games will ultimately make the game more enjoyable and will lead more people to play Vanguard Royale over regular Battle Royale, which is one of the statistics and metrics that I'm sure the guys over at Raven Software are monitoring. So there's definitely a lot of indications that a Warzone Ranked mode is coming. I think they're going to take all of the findings they find from the competitive changes that they've made in Vanguard Royale, apply them to regular Battle Royale, and eventually you will see a Warzone Ranked mode, either in this Warzone or in the next one. So what are the tests for Warzone 2 beyond the competitive stuff, which could be Warzone Ranked in Warzone 2, or could be Warzone Ranked in the regular Warzone? Well, these are pretty cool too, and this is effectively known as pushing your luck in the video game development scene. These guys have added a bunch of changes in Warzone Season 2, and they want to see how people are going to react to them. The redeploy balloons, for example, have been a resounding positive reaction, meaning that in Warzone 2, if they want to add all kinds of wacky traversal options, people would likely welcome it. Adding AI to the game is something that they're also looking at. They've added a few AI bots, they're not very special or interesting, but they want to see if there's any player pushback from that. Are people going to be annoyed that they're finding AI on the map, or is it something that they find interesting or cool? Meaning more opportunities in Warzone 2 for them to add AI, see how it interacts with people in the game, and see if it's something that people like or something that people dismiss quite quickly. And other things as well, like Nebula V rounds and PDS stations that allow you to utilize the gas in different ways, are already pretty good changes in terms of balancing, in terms of competitive, in terms of how the game works, but they're also ways that they can change the game that people haven't thought of before. They want to see what people are going to do and how people are going to react to those things. The fact that you can now turn on gas chambers inside the new factory, for example, they will see data saying that people are actually really enjoying the factory, going there often, and they'll see how many of them utilize interactable features like being able to detonate a gas room. And if that's something that people like, could we see more points of interest in the future that come with dynamic options like, having a gas room or possibly some destruction, things that could shake up POIs a bit more and make them more fun and more interesting, like in other Battle Royale titles. And you're seeing a lot of this. The armored convoys, the Nebula V bombs, and even the bombers are just questions as to how far can we push crazy stuff and see how it goes. Will people like it? Will people dislike it? And what will the general sentiment be? And if they can see how people like these different things, like AI, like different types of explosives and ammunitions, like different mobility options or new vehicles like bombers, then it gives them more options for Warzone 2. The bombers in Vanguard Royale honestly aren't that overpowered or that incredible in the grand scheme of things, but it is pretty cool when you get in them. And if you get down with a bomber, yeah, the person on the receiving end might not like it, but to be honest with you, it doesn't happen all that often, and it is pretty damn cool to see. So they're seeing now, not only can they make ranked changes to the game that could form the basis of a ranked Warzone, they're making changes to see how far they can push the envelope. And there was a statement that was made about Warzone 2, that they didn't just want it to be a run-of-the-mill battle royale, and they wanted it to push the boundaries of a sandbox environment in a battle royale. And that attests directly to the changes you're seeing in Season 2. These are changes to see how people will react to new traversal, how people will react to AI, how people are going to react to different types of bombs and equipment, and is it something that people like? And if they do, it means that there's a lot of stuff that they can play with in Warzone 2 and have a ranked version of the game that has, a really grounded basis where it is a competitive experience, and a wacky version of the game where there aren't those crazy things in the regular game, but they are something that you can engage with as a basic or casual player. We're seeing the groundwork here for some really good ideas, and so far I've really enjoyed and really liked what I've seen from the guys over at Call of Duty, and this is the first time I'm thinking a while we're seeing some very serious initiative about the future of what this game is going to look like. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Are there any new additions to the game that you don't like, do like? How are you liking the balloons, for example? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Drop a like, subscribe, we're on the road to 100k, and I'll see you in the next one.